Darts, the best thing that he said, he watches Sports Center.
Well, as you both mentioned, what a feat it is to get to the Final Four 3 years in a row. UCLA hoping to make it 4 in a row, and this time cut down the nets. And the guy with the ball right now, Collison, is going to have to lead them there.
I love Collison. I'll tell you one thing. He had an injury earlier last year. You and I didn't see him early in the season, a knee injury, but he came back and had a sensational year.
Boya doesn't get the bounce. He's a guy, good defense, good rebounding, but UCLA does not get a lot of scoring on the interior, and they're looking for some options down there.
Yeah, that's really their dilemma right now. They lost Love, and they lost also Sir Luke Rashad
Mbamute. I'm so sad he went pro because I miss you saying his name so much.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're saying his name in the NBA. Wow. He's been the steal of the draft. He's had a terrific first year so far.
Away from Milwaukee, getting a lot of opportunities to play. Collison is called for the foul. Michigan, meanwhile, last year went just 10-22 in John Beilein's first season at the helm in Ann Arbor. But again, they've got more talent. They figure to be more of a factor this year. And for folks who remember West Virginia 2, 3, 4 years ago, how good they were, they're playing the same style. Patient offense, some backdoor cuts, some Princeton principles, and a 1-3-1 on defense. And if you play for John Beilein, you better be able to shoot the ball from outside.
Yeah, you got to make that perimeter shot. He's also going to utilize more of the 1-3-1. He didn't use it practically at all last year.
How about the strength of Josh Shipp, who is healthier now, Dick, than he's been in about 3 years?
Yeah, he's been battling injuries throughout his career. Very explosive wing player. They're really strong on a perimeter. They got to get some post presence and scoring on the interior from Boya and Keith.
Harris will not get the bounce, but he will draw the foul. It's going to be on Boya, his first.
You know, one thing with Harris this year, last year he dominated the basketball and he turned it over and led the Big Ten with 115 turnovers. I don't think you're going to see that out of him this year. He's playing on the wing. He's explosive. He can score. Was a big-time high school player in the state of Michigan, and he has to have a big-time year. You know, you look at the Big Ten, obviously, Purdue, Michigan State are the head of the class, but don't forget Bull Ryan and Wisconsin with Landry and Bohannon. And then after that, I think Michigan's got to battle along with Minnesota and Illinois and Iowa for that 4th and 5th and 6th spot.
Well, Manny Harris will be the key if they're going to be in that kind of a battle. He had 30 points in the first round win over Michigan Tech, and then Michigan beat Northeastern, and Harris had 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists in that game.
Well, you know what's impressive about that win? There's the 1-3-1 zone. You got to shoot that baseline shot against it. What is impressive about the win over Northeastern, they had just beaten Providence, Northeastern, and Michigan handled them very easily. Hey, by the way, Pac-10 doesn't want to hear this tonight. Seton Hall beats Southern Cal.
The Big East is a beast, as everybody has said. And Seton Hall thought to be one of the bottom teams in the Big East, beating USC, which would be in the top half of the Pac-10.
There's that 1-3-1. I think the Big East this year will be the best conference that I've witnessed in my 30 years at ESPN.
Baseline jumper from the corner, not there for Holiday, but what a great offensive rebound by Adam Keefe. We're going to revisit that statement when we get a chance. I want to talk more about that. Let's see how UCLA handles the 1-3-1. It's not something you see very often. Nifty try on the reverse by Shipp. Loose ball comes down to the Wolverines, and Shipp with a reach-in foul. So Boya, Collison, Shipp, each with a foul within the first 2 minutes of the game. Not music to the ears of Ben Howland, who has done such a phenomenal job at UCLA. Northern Arizona, Pittsburgh, great success at both of those schools. Back in Southern California now, and he is the architect of that program.
Well, the reason they have a chance always to win, they got good athletes, and they really have bought into the defensive philosophy and the defensive system of Ben Howland. And when you play on a defense like they just demonstrated there, you got a chance to win.
The block by Keefe. UCLA will look to run when the opportunity presents itself, but
especially with the quickness and the unbelievable penetration ability of Collison. He's got to be the premier point guard in America. Someone else has got to take that away from him by having a phenomenal year.
Right now, Michigan goes man-to-man. They're going to mix up their defenses.
They play multi-defenses. There's the little penetration, the kick out.
Keefe wide open for 3, the assist to Collison.
That was created by penetration by Collison. He drew help, and he kicked it right out. Very simple philosophy. Drive, draw, and dish the rock.
Michigan just 10-22 a year ago, but they played UCLA in Ann Arbor and had a lead on the Bruins in the second half. Gibson from outside misses the three. And the prior 2 years when John Beilein was at West Virginia, they beat UCLA